Have you ever wondered what it would be like to go through your everyday life having someone that looks exactly like you, acts like you, and does everything the same as you? This question or set of questions has been something that has fascinated me my entire life. You've probably guessed I am not a twin, but I've always questioned what it would be like to wake up in the morning and to see someone that looks exactly like me without just standing in the mirror. Between twin telepathy, their developmental struggles, and the similarities that they share while growing up in different homes, identical twins seem to be more and more fascinating as more has been discovered. My job today is to inform you all on what twins go through, on their differences in their daily lives that they face, different than most people, to tell you what twin telepathy is like, what developmental struggles that they face, and the similarities between two twins that grow up in different homes. To begin, in my opinion, I think that the most interesting topic is twin telepathy. According to Guy Playfair, author of Twin Telepathy, as many as 30% of identical twins appear to experience telepathical interaction, page 47. British scientist Francis Galton published a short article that said that twins in 1876, commenting that witnessed to make the same remarks as their other twin on the same occasion, or become singing the same song at the same moment, page 46. After several dramatic accounts, the term crisis telepathy was made. For example, twin Martha Burt felt as though she had been cut in two one day after searing pain had crossed her chest. Hours later, she discovered that her twin sister had died in a plane crash halfway across the world, page 47. In another example, a lady was out and about, and out of nowhere, her leg became absolutely outrageously painfully bruised, spread up her left side of her entire body. Later, she discovered that her twin had been in a car crash that day, very same time, 400 miles away, page 48. From my own experience, I have two really good friends that happen to be identical twins. I have asked them about this factor and if it ever came up into their daily lives. Like one twin said in one of the studies I share with you all, my friends had said the same things. Even if it's about the most random topic or the most random time, they will somehow blurt out the same thing, either beginning or ending their sentence. One thing that our friends always joke around about is the fact that they always have to answer everything twice. Because one of my friends will walk into a room, ask a question, and get the answer and leave, and then the other twin will come back in and she'll ask the same question in the same exact way. Now that you learn more about the basics of twin telepathy, now let's look at the similarities that identical twins face when they are raised apart. One study done by the University of Minnesota researched identical twins that were raised apart. The most interesting example that I found was when the researchers researched the Grimm twins, who had been separated for 4 weeks and were apart for 39 years. Their similarities were absolutely remarkable. They both were named Jim. They both married a woman named Lisa, then divorced and married another woman named Betty. They both had childhood dogs named Toy and sons named James. One son was named James Allen with 2 L's and the other was James Allen with 1 L. They both had been firemen and sheriffs. They both bit their nails, suffered from migraines, smoked the same cigars, and drank Miller Lite beer. They both were 6 feet tall and exactly 180 pounds. Their handwritings were nearly identical. They both left love notes for their wives throughout their houses. To top it all off, they died of the same illness on the same exact day. This is just one of 68 cases from the University of Minnesota, extensively studied. From the 5 stories that I read, the Grimm twins I was in disbelief, seeing how similar they were when they were raised completely apart. So far, we looked into twin telepathy. Twins were raised apart, so now let's look at the struggles that identical twins face from their own identities. According to Burlingham, 1852, in the book Identity of Intimacy in Twins, the more similar the twins are in appearance, the longer it takes the mother to distinguish the two apart. Cohen, Dibble, and Grave, 1977, and Layton, 1980, suggested that parental behavior is the most important determinant of child's socialization. And several authors, such as Block and Camel, and Burlingham of 1952, have all indicated that identical twins have less incentive to learn to speak because they understand each other through their nonverbal communication. Page 4. The inference in Burlingham in 1952, twins found it very difficult to separate identities, which leads them to a term called unit identity. This means that twins have a hard time communicating with the outside world because they are so comfortable with interacting with only each other. This usually comes when the twins are treated as a unit by their parents instead of individuals who lead issues separating children, identical twins, as they grow older. Page 10. When I asked my twin friends about this concept, they both admitted to having hard times being separated from each other. They said that they had never been apart for more than 24 hours at one time. They've always done everything the same, taken the same classes, played the same sports, and had the same friends. Even this year, they got separated in 2 different sorority houses during rush, and without even thinking, one of the twins immediately dropped her house so she could re-rush in the next fall semester and she could be in the same house as her sister. My purpose today was to inform you all, to the best of my ability, without actually being a twin, what it's like to be a twin. To tell you what twin telepathy is like and the developmental struggles that they face and the similarities twins share when they're growing up in 2 different homes. Often I wonder what it's like to be a twin, being surrounded by someone that's identical to you every moment of the day. I hope that today I gave you enough the opportunity to put yourself in the shoes, unlike the majority of people, to understand what being a twin is like.